Yo, today we have something a little bit different. We are going to be doing this. I guess it's a new series that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to put in three more different categories, like different kind of series I'm trying to do. So this first one here, it's going to be a joint one with another one I'm doing. So it's going to be going through Reddit comments that I've done. And if you don't know, I'm active on Reddit, and I'm also active on Quora. So those two, I'm quite active where I'm frequently trying to post answers, comments, questions every day or every other day, just kind of just trying to be consistent because it is a lot of hard work and it can be like, a lot of hard work to keep up with it, but I try to do as much as I can. So what I plan on doing is kind of just going from my early start, because I started in November doing this, and I'll just go through them and just go through each comments and just kind of expand on a comment or reflect on it and just share my input on what I said and why I said it, kind of thing. So we're going to get into the first one. I think I'm just going to call this 25 Insights Reddit comments or something like that, or Reddit answers. And yeah, let's get into my first ever comment. So this is the list of comments. So from the top, because for some reason I can't start from the bottom up, so I have to kind of just scroll down. But just to show you guys like how much I've kind of done. Oh, I need to kind of, let me just scroll on my laptop. So I've done quite a lot. So yeah, a lot of good stuff that I can go over, over the next few weeks, months. As long as I'm consistent on there and consistent on here, I can post a lot. All right, so we made it to the bottom. All right, so let me try kind of make my thing a bit smaller actually. So, all right, so the question he had is how to fix perfectionism. And that's his question. As for the question itself, let me just kind of briefly go over it. So he says he's kind of just been struggling with perfectionism and feelings of inadequacy, and kind of, I'm looking at it now. It's a bit extreme where he's looking at everything and everyone and just kind of putting himself in an inferiority complex and get into a bad sort of comparison, which is something I did write about today. I recently got A1. So if this supposed to use rush. Unfortunately, he didn't get back or answer to the comment that I had. But what I wrote in response, if you are considering suicide, please consider getting professional help either through school services or helpline services. And yeah, definitely, like whenever I'm answering posts to do with self-improvement, personal development, other forums, I don't know, like positivity or purpose or discipline or productivity or any of those kind of personal development kind of forums, I make sure to kind of be careful when I'm dealing with people, that when I'm answering to people that are kind of, that they have some sort of condition where they feel depressed or they feel anything that's a medical kind of, medically kind of, what do you call it, diagnosed kind of thing. I try to stay away from that and just tell them, look, when it comes to that kind of thing, it's best to get professional help, like in any means that you can, to try to get that, because I'm not a professional and I don't really delve that far when it comes to that. So yeah, get your help where you can. As for the perfectionism, that's something I do know about because I experienced that a lot when I was, especially in my last, I guess in my first, from 2020 to 2022, I was going through that quite a lot, and not a lot I would say, but I dealt through at certain periods of months, for example, trying to battle that. And here I read that the perfectionism that you're beating yourself over can be a mix of two things: a high expectation and a negative attitude. And yeah, so when it comes to stuff like perfectionism or procrastination or fear or whatever it is, if you try to break it down into subparts, it can be easier to understand the whole picture. And a high expectation and a negative attitude is like adding those together, plus this and that, it's going to equal that perfectionism. a high expectation can be good, but and actually I might as well just read it because I said the high expectations are a good thing when they are realistic and you create smart goals to accomplish them. However, the negative attitude is what you need to work on. Practice using positive affirmations to boost your self-esteem and create small daily goals and work on them to increase your confidence. All right. And you're going to see in my first week or so of responses on my Reddit and Quora that I push the idea of creating goals that you work towards to build your confidence, and I also talk about using positive affirmations. You're gonna see that a lot. You're gonna see that a lot, especially the positive affirmations. I kind of push that a lot because it's a nice way to kind of get started on doing something rather than me just saying, just change your life or just change your mindset and you've got this. That is very nice to say, but it's also at the same time I can understand that it's not applicable. Like you're gonna. I was reading this book as well. It's called The Leadership by John C. Maxwell, and I'm currently reading it bit by bit every day. And something he had mentioned is that he wanted to change his talks from being something that people would be leaving saying, "Oh, that was a nice talk," but not having anything to apply from it. So they would just be like, John or Sammy, he's a nice guy, but I guess that's where they just leave it. He's just a nice guy, and they never really do anything from it. However, it's a lot better when you can give some piece of advice or information or knowledge and have someone be able to do something with it, go home and apply it in some sort of way. Whether it works or not, at least they applied it and have some sort of experience now moving forward, So yeah, I give that the positive affirmations is a good thing for you to try and see how that affects you, and also creating goals. And I talked about SMART goals in my last video and about how important it is to create goals that are not what you're not creating dreams when you're supposed to be creating goals. Dreams and goals are separate things. Goals are something that you have some steps and some measurable ways to work towards, but I've gone over that in the last video. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's called I think it's called something related to SMART goals, how to create SMART goals, and it's part of my newsletter series, so make sure you check that out. And so yeah, here I talked about, well, we've gone over it. So what he needs to what he could be working on that may help, and I'm trying to use terms that aren't really definitive because it's different for everyone. So I kind of have to I do have to be a little bit careful with saying this, and this when it differs every time, So what I said, what he could work on is that negative attitude and the high expectation, making the high expectation something that's conductive and helpful to your life rather than making your life stressful and setting you up for failure every time. And working on your negative attitude, like building something that's positive for yourself, because the real question is, why would you want a negative life? Why would you want to think negatively all the time? About yourself, about your life. So about yourself, about your environment, about your abilities, about your potential, about your future. Why would you want to think negatively about all these things? When on the other hand, positivity is something that can elevate you and take you further and keep you going, and not have you, doubting yourself all the time or being stuck in fear. Whereas being negative, it drags you down. Like honestly, just drags you down and makes your life a lot worse. From experience and from your experience, I'm sure a lot of you guys have your own insights that you can share. That negativity is not something that you want to delve into every single day of your life, because it drags you down. It doesn't help you in the slightest. It's like taking something it's like eating a certain piece of food that is not good for yourself. You've been medically instructed not to eat it, and you're eating it every single day. But yeah, it is something that's it's easier said than done, but it has to be said, because if it's not said, maybe people won't act on it. Maybe people won't even want to be aware of it. But when they hear it, it's out in the air now. So let's see, we're at like almost 10 minutes. I think I can go to the next one. My next one was a reply to someone, answering to someone's thing. Alright, so the guy had commented that the title is "Want to change my life but continuously failing to get my shit together, starting to doubt myself and wondering if I'm always going to be like this." And pretty much he goes over the title is pretty much the thing where he's 17 years old, and he's doubting his ability, he's doubting his self and his ability to get to his dreams and aspirations, and talks about how he's getting failed, how he's failing in school, and how he's always leaving things till tomorrow, procrastinating, and yeah, he kind of just gives a run up on what his current problems are, and why things are like how they're like. And the guy does a reply to this and saying, the classic tale of a dreamer without a backbone. And he's a bit harsh on him, but sometimes it is, yeah, I read it here. I said, great way to put it. I said, sometimes a slap back to reality is what's needed to see what needs to be changed. I also think he has unrealistic expectations and a lack of discipline. If he can work on those two and slowly build good habits, then he should see positive changes. So yeah, sometimes being a bit, I guess you would call it blunt or straightforward, and not packaging things in a nice way. It can be helpful to some people, because some people do need to hear it in a way that kind of makes them think, oh wow, he's really saying this in this manner. Is it really this bad? And it makes you reevaluate and kind of just think, okay, let me actually see what needs to be changed and work on it. And yeah, I wrote that he has unrealistic expectations and a lack of discipline, and though that also sets you up for a very hard time. Definitely work on your expectations, like how I mentioned earlier. It's a very, very important aspect to where you see yourself, because where your expectations are, you're going to compare that to where you are now, and that can either ruin you or help you or keep you the same. So yeah, I talk about also a lack of discipline. A lack of discipline is very counterproductive to having a consistent routine and having a list of accomplishments, because you always leave things till later, and you don't hold yourself accountable, and you don't follow your rules, you don't stick to boundaries, you don't have any punishments in place or any rewards in place, and you kind of, you're not taking it seriously. That's the second one. See if I said here's a one related to Islam. I'd say I think it's just it's a deleted post anyway, but I said it's better to follow the Sunnah. Here, what's the best way to gain people skills? Alright, so he or she says, I currently work from home with no human interaction. I feel like I have no opportunity to work on myself, especially in person people skills. Person people skills. I would love to work on it, but really don't know how to get started. I was thinking of getting a part-time job or volunteering somewhere. Any advice or positions that would be best? I was thinking of waitressing or bartending, but wondering if there are better options. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the question. Was that I did kind of answer somewhat, because it was just asking about ways to kind of interact with people. And here I wrote, you can find online communities or clubs within your area. For example, sports like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu have great people you can connect with. Yeah, I gave an example. That's from my own experience. I done boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu during the year 2022. Was it? Yeah, 2021 to 2022 kind of thing. So during my uni time, so like 8 months, and then boxing, I continued that onto 2023. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not that much, but it was a great way for me to interact with others, because meeting through sports is a great way to connect and just kind of have something in common. And yeah, and online communities as well, and clubs. Just great way to be in an area where everyone's there, and it shows that you have a common interest, so you can start a conversation from there. I think I'm gonna end it here, because I don't want the video to be longer than like 15 or 20 minutes. And I hope you just got a taste of how the series will go. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this new series I'm gonna hopefully be pushing forward. And yeah, so we got the newsletter one series, we got this Reddit series I'm gonna be doing, and then we got the Quora series as well. And also I'm gonna be adding a new series that will be soon after, probably after the Quora. I start the Quora one. It will be, I think I'll call it book summary. Book summary where I've been going over a list of books that I've read like over the past 3 years, and I'm writing summaries based on online stuff I found. And just to let you know beforehand, which I'll go over in that video, is that I haven't actually, those summaries that I've written up are not my own summaries. They're summaries I found from online where I've done kind of taken notes from their summaries to kind of refresh my mind. But going over it again on YouTube is going to be a great way for me to kind of learn it again and also share my own insight, and then have you guys give feedback and share what you know as well. But yeah, got those four series in store, so stay tuned. There's always going to be something to do on this channel, as well as my other ones. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share it, all of that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.